Hello everyone, this is Mr. Grogan, and this video is on Unit 3, Lesson 6, which is on random numbers. Okay, up to this point, I've shown you code that specifically deals with different shapes like ellipses, rectangles, um, fill color, background color, and also, and very importantly, what we did in Lesson 5, we did some code on variables and creating a variable and naming a variable. Um, what this lesson 6 involves, it involves numbers, right? And specifically, as the title of this lesson is random numbers. Okay, and what and I'm going to show you how this works in just one moment. Uh, the code that gets introduced is appropriately called random number, right? And it does show you how it works here when you click on it on section 1. All right, it's a little bit similar to what we did when we were a couple weeks ago when we were working on Google Sheets. And when we did the minimum, when we did highest and lowest, lowest being minimum, highest being maximum, random number code kind of works in a similar fashion here. All right. What the random number code does is that it returns a random number in the closed range from minimum to maximum. All right. And you're going to see how this works in just one moment. All right. Uh, the assignment itself is going to be sections 3 through 7. All right. I'm going to quickly go through section 2 with you, and then you'll be working on sections 3 through 7. Okay. Like it was for the last couple of assignments, this one is fairly easy. All right. It should not take you too long to do. All right. I'm going to quickly go over section 2 here with you. Section 2, all right, this involves, okay, is that you have a new block in the math drawer called random number. And you'll notice in the toolbox, you'll see a blue labeling here for drawing, and you will see something here called math. When you click on it, the label will be colored in orange. As we go further along in Unit 3, you're going to see about at least like 4 or 5 different color labels on the toolbox, and each one will have like a handful of lines of code that you can put into the workspace. All right, so you will see as we go further along on Unit 3 that there's going to be more stuff in the toolbox to select from. Um, so, and if you get stuck on any of these codes, if you go into the toolbox and you just bring the insertion point over each code, just let it sit there for a moment, it will actually tell you what the code is. Okay. If you click on see example, and it'll also give you something that says see examples, all right, which was actually what I just showed you on section 1. All right. So when I run this program, you'll notice you'll see a like a reddish background, or actually a tomato colored background. All right. And you'll see a orange colored ellipse. All right. And you'll notice that on line 4 of the workspace, you'll see the ellipse code, the first, under the X coordinate, you'll see something that says random number, and it'll be 0 to 400. Now remember, when you click on show grid, all right, it goes from sections, it goes from 0 to 400. All right. And so this random number code, when I hit reset and run again, notice that it shows up on a different spot. Okay. All right. That's the random number code at work. And notice how it's only going from left to right. It's going in a random point horizontally. The reason why it's doing that is because it's set, this random number code is set under the X coordinate. Okay. And it's set between 0 and 400. So it could show up here at one point. It could show up there the next. All right. Now, if I change the numbers inside the random number code, and run the code again, so let's just say if I change this from 0 to 200. Okay. If I reset, run. Notice how it's still showing up in random spots. However, it doesn't show up beyond the center point here. It doesn't show up over here. It only shows up over here, okay? Because the reason being is because I set it to 0 to 100, okay? So if I put the insertion point right here, you'll notice that it's the x coordinate is at 152, okay? So it's only going to show up between here, right here in the center, all right? Either between here to here, okay? So, all right, because it's set from 0 to 200. All right, so that's basically how that works. So section 3, the assignment itself is sections 3 through 7. Just to quickly go through it, section 3, all right, what this does, all right, it's the same thing. The only difference is that you can make the y coordinate random. So what you have to do is that you have to put a random number code. You need to drag it to where this 200 is. Okay, so you're going to take this random number code, move it over here, and then, set a random parameter for your random number. Okay, when we went over lesson 4 parameters, the concept of parameters works fairly often in random numbers because when you set a random number code, you're essentially setting up a parameter. Between 0 and 400 is a parameter. Okay. Section 4. All right, section 4. When you get to that one, okay. This was similar. This was the eye example from the last one. Okay, the directions on this one are a little bit different, but just make sure that you read through the directions. Should be fairly easy to go through. Okay, section 5. Okay, section 5. Okay, this has 2 flowers, and what you want to do here is change the program so that the flowers have random petal sizes as in the image. So essentially, okay, so they're going to have random sizes. Okay, so you're going to have to play around a little bit with that. Okay, section 6. Section 6 is a practice one. You can either choose the debug the random shape position, or you can select this one, which is modifying the planets. Okay, what you're going to be doing here is you're going to give the planets random sizes so that it's always changing, and you could randomize their positions a little bit too. But, if you wanted, so that would be for section 6. You can, like I said, either do modifying the planets or debugging the random shape position. Okay, do either or. Okay, but make sure you do one of these two on section 6. Section 7, all right, last section. This one's kind of a unique one. Okay, this one has, you start out with 3 ellipses, okay, and what you have to do is you have to, you're going to add 3 more ellipses, and then one's going to be colored green, one's going to be colored blue, and one's going to be colored purple. All right. And what you're going to do is you're going to add it, those 3 different colored circles to your rainbow snake, and use a random number to make the rest of the snake's body move up and down, much like the first 3. Okay. And so essentially you're going to have this here look like that. You're going to add these 3, and really, to do this correctly, you want to look at the workspace and just kind of see how they do the code here, all right? And particularly where the x coordinate is, okay? Notice how this one's at 100, okay? The red one's at 100, orange one's at 140, yellow one is at 180, okay? So you're gonna, so it's gonna, these next 3 are gonna follow a similar pattern, okay? And if you wanted to, you can make the size of some of the circles random too. Okay, but just look at how the pattern how that goes. All right, and you're going to be adding a few lines of code here. All right, make sure that each ellipse that you add has a fill color to go with it. Okay, this one will take you a few minutes to do, but it's relatively easy. All right, and once you're done with section 7, you're done with this assignment. All right, and as I said, this week we're going to be doing lessons 6 and 7, and those 2 lessons might be the last ones that we're going to be doing this quarter. All right. For the first quarter. So make sure that you get them done. All right. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you very much.